Hello everyone, welcome back to Kraven Talks. Today we will be talking about very famous show, very famous sci-fi show. In fact, this show has been on air for about since the 60s, probably what 60, 70 years now, and it was canceled in the middle, but then rebooted back in 2005. We will be talking about Doctor Who. What will we be talking about in Doctor Who? Basically a lot random. We'll go on random tensions and stuff with Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Today we have in Craven Talks. Um, introduce yourselves,
Hello, I'm Fidelia.
Hello,
and
I'm Cindy.
yeah. So let's get started with the Doctor Who stuff. Now, for those of you who don't know what Doctor Who is, Doctor Who is an old British sci-fi show about a time traveling uh alien who travels in a British style police box that's bigger on the inside, and he goes through time and space saving the world or other worlds in the universe, basically. He always has a companion or two with him, whether it be a robot dog all the way to such a person, and even what I think he's even referenced other things that he's had, like a
Yeah.
squirrel as well, like a robot squirrel too, apparently. So there's so many different components to this. Now, this person he can regenerate a numerous amount of times, specifically 13, and we'll get more into that as we talk. But yeah, that's basically the quick rundown of what Doctor Who is. So yeah. Now, anyone else want to say anything?
Um, Basically, we're just gonna be talking about random things from like maybe our favorite companions, favorite doctor, maybe different adventures, maybe what we expect to come in the next season.
Yeah, okay. So first off, let's start with that then. Favorite doctors. My favorite doctor, I have two.
Hmm.
My favorite doctor would have to be the fourth doctor, which is one of the first ones I've ever seen. And I switch back and forth a lot between the 12th doctor a lot and the yeah, mainly the 12th Doctor, I would say, actually, is definitely one of my favorites as well. Then it's Matt Smith, David Tennant, Christopher Eccleston, and so far on like that. And after Christopher Eccleston, it would be the 13th, and then so far after that. But fourth is definitely number one for me.
For
So
me,
what
the
about you
11th, aka Matt Smith, is my first. Then Peter Capaldi, which was the 12th.
guys? Yeah. What about you, hon?
Ooh, David Tennant has always been one of my favorites. I do really like the new Doctor, Jodie. She
Jodie Whittaker,
has
yeah.
yes, she's done amazing. I do feel like her script writing isn't the best. Like she has a few
Yeah.
good episodes,
She's an
but she's
amazing.
amazing as a doctor. As a doctor,
She's an amazing.
yes, she is an
She's
amazing
an
doctor.
amazing.
An amazing.
Yeah, no, she's a good doctor. I think the script could be better. I don't
Yeah.
like I the only
Mm.
companion I really like from her is the old guy. That's it.
Yeah,
The
he
other
has so much
companions,
heart and soul.
and you know what? I like
Yeah.
Ryan too. Roz, the female companion, doesn't really have a character to her per se. She's just there. I mean, it would have been nice if we just had those two. That's like Ryan and his grandfather
I
just
Mhm.
going along because that whole relationship with them getting to know each other better and like actually start to love each other and stuff that would
Oh
have been
yeah,
more
definitely.
concentrated on even more. Roz didn't need to be there. I would have put
Mm.
Roz out of the loop because
She did
usually
do
the
okay,
doctor
but
as a male usually has two females. So I thought as
yes.
female, two males would have just been a little funny thing to do, a little fun thing. But yeah.
But that's not even true because Matt Smith had Amy and Rory.
Yeah, but he never had but I'm saying like the doctor doesn't usually have two males and a female. Oh,
Yeah.
well, except for like maybe some of the old episodes. No,
But
not even. Yeah, no.
but that's what kind of
Usually one
makes.
female, one male.
But it's different because like we finally have a female doctor, so it's gonna probably be a little different. I
Mm.
think she could have had the female companion could have done better, but I think they were so focused on the relationship between the two guys because he never liked his grandfather at first. So I think they were just too focused on trying to get them on good terms.
But I think it's
Like,
also the fact that Roz had her own story, her own family story. Whole
yeah,
episode just for Roz. It still didn't feel like Roz was
You know
there.
what they should have done? They should
I
have
don't know
had.
why.
You know how the Doctor normally has, like you guys were saying, they normally have two. They don't have three. They don't have four. They normally have two. They
I
should
think
have
that
done like one
dynamic.
season. Yeah,
Yeah.
they should have had one season with just I'm terrible with names, but just the old guy and his son, grandson. Think right, son, grandson,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
they should have had and then they should have had Roz in the next
Yes,
season.
yes, yes. And
His
but
companions come and go.
but Yaz didn't. They didn't really write much for her. The thing was, she was there to be there. She was a
Mhm.
cardboard character. She didn't do much like the other two, and that was wrong. What they did. You see, the thing was, they put her in the background, and
yeah,
she was there to be there, and they concentrated on the other two. So I agree. They should have had her come in next season, and probably when what's his name, the old guy won't travel anymore. Let's say the old guy doesn't travel anymore. Have Yaz come in then with Ryan.
yeah,
There you go. Then you would have seen the whole best friend relationship kind of thing coming through and whatnot.
Mhm.
yeah. Like, I don't know. I guess because she was on the police, so they needed to kind of add that character in, and they kind of got a because she knew the guy, so it kind of made sense that she traveled right away with them. But I feel like they could have done more for her from the start to make it better.
Well, I mean,
Because
it for me it doesn't make sense because Donna had her grandfather, and her grandfather didn't travel with him immediately, and but he knew from the start and
but he
helped them
never was a
out.
companion
He was for one episode.
for one episode, yeah. But we're talking about like freaking actual
But
like
Yaz,
all the
even for the
actual.
first episode, didn't do much either.
Hmm.
Because like I think they weren't
I don't know.
gonna.
I think they needed a character, the third wheel, and they just didn't write her good enough.
Like yeah, but like that's what I'm saying. Like I don't. They were too focused on the grandfather and the son and the grandson. They were too focused on that to actually think like, oh, we need to also focus on her if we want this to work properly. Because don't forget, the scripts weren't really that great to begin with.
There were a couple episodes that were really good, and the rest of them were like,
Yeah,
eh.
hopefully the next season does a little bit better with the script writing.
Yeah. And hopefully
But
she'll improve.
Yeah,
hopefully that's what everyone wants in the Whovian universe because like every Whovian wants to see more of her improve because she is just there as a cardboard background character. She really doesn't have that many lines. She really doesn't say anything that's brilliant. And I think it's also the dynamic where it's like they're gonna have to make the Doctor more out there and more front than
Yeah.
the old guy, because the old guy's starting to feel like he takes
Yeah,
charge a lot more than
I
her
definitely
at
saw.
times.
I feel like part of the reason why they brought her in though is because I feel like something's gonna happen to the grandfather, and the grandson's gonna need a friend. And I feel like with them traveling, she'll be able to help him. Like whether it's he gets too sick and can't travel, or like most companions to die. I feel like something's gonna happen,
No,
and
I hope they
she's
use Yaz as like a police kind of thing, because she has a police background, right?
yeah,
I
mhm.
hope they do that, because that would be cool. Think about that. For an episode, she has
yeah,
to go into the police headquarters, get some stuff done, for them,
yeah,
as like Martha had with Unit.
yep.
Yes, there's a
That would have
lot
been
that
good.
That could
That's
definitely be
what they
something
should
they
do
can
with
do.
her. Yeah, or even Yaz going to Unit,
Oh my god, that would actually be so much better. She gets like
but they
that
said Unit
invitation.
closed down, right?
Oh, did they?
Yeah, Unit closed down, I believe.
Oh,
During the during her doctor's time, yeah, Unit went bankrupt or something for a little while. So yeah,
okay, never mind. But
I mean,
like, I feel like
what if they like came back though? That'd be kind of
I mean, obviously it's a setup for them to come back and it'll be like this big glorious thing. But
interesting.
yeah,
yeah.
but I feel like there's so much they can do with her, and I just feel like the writer just wasn't doing good enough.
No.
Because wasn't the writer like someone that did a few episodes that didn't do well?
Yeah, like he's good with the history stuff. He's not so good with the sci-fi stuff. Like he's good with sci-fi going into history. Like the Rosa Parks episode. That was a good
That was
episode.
awesome.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good episode. It showed people. I know some people complained about it, where it was the majority
Of
of Whovians
course.
liked it, but some people complained that it was a racist going back in time. But to tell you the truth, if racist people had time machines, they would try to do that kind of thing.
Exactly.
So it makes sense. That is what
Mhm.
could possibly happen. Another good episode was and they're forgettable episodes. That's the worst part. But I think that's what bothers me the most, how forgettable these
Yeah.
episodes are, because I
I don't
am
remember half
blank
of
right
them.
now. Yeah, I'm blank right now.
Ooh, what was the one
Um,
with the alien? That was actually kind of cute.
I didn't like that episode though, with
It
the
was cute.
Yeah.
The
Bating.
whole alien was
That
so
little cute, that little alien that ate like the metals and stuff. It was called the Bating.
Oh, the one
That
with the
was not a good
hotel.
episode.
no, but it
No,
was cute though.
Oh, that was
no,
a
no
spider
hotel.
thing.
It was on a spaceship. This thing.
Okay, yeah, that one.
This the spider episode was a good episode actually, with the giant spiders.
Yeah.
That was not bad. Unbelievably. The effects were
Oof.
horrible. That
Yeah.
giant spider at the end. Towards the end, it really got kind of like a B movie, horror movie, sci fi kind of thing. But during
Definitely.
the beginning, it was really good, and I liked where it was going. The one with the Pating was not at all a good episode. It was one of they tried making this thing cute, like they with the Addy post and whatnot, but they just couldn't get it by. This thing ate only metals. Nobody knows where it comes from, this, that, and the other, which is fine not to know where it comes from. But the thing about I didn't like about the Bating personally is that it wasn't really a threat. It was mainly like the people who were more of a threat than the Pating was,
Yeah.
because the people wanted to blow up the ship because there was a thing on the ship, so they had to concentrate more on that. And this, while this thing was running around just eating metals. Now, if this thing did more harm to people, like in Matt Smith's episode with the submarine, the Russian submarine,
Yeah.
and the ice warrior, he broke apart the people and dissected them to see what was inside humans. That's
Mhm.
a different story. And while he was doing that, the nukes were going to go off at the same time.
Hmm.
That would have been a better thing because there would have been more of a threat. But this
Oh,
thing wasn't really a threat as much to say.
No, it was
It
more
wasn't
just
cute
like
that much. It
they
was.
tried to make it cute, but it was like I was like, oh, okay, it's just there. That was,
Thank you. It's just there.
and
It's
the thing
just
is, I
part of the
liked the
Doctor
adipose, but
Universe.
the adipose is different because they didn't. It wasn't necessarily the adipose that
I'm
was
not
bad. It
comparing.
was the
I'm
person.
saying the whole point of what they're
Yeah.
doing is to make it cute like the Adipose, to have another
Yeah.
iconic cute character. The Adipose just were fat and they just popped up out of nowhere. But for Pating, they tried doing the same kind of thing where it's like it's here, it's causing a bit of havoc, like the Adipose did. They caused a tiny bit of havoc, but that's it with the Pating. The end.
Yeah.
The end. But with the Adipose, that's memorable. You go, oh look, that's an Adipose. They didn't. There's a reason why they didn't sell Pating plushies and stuff like
I
that.
don't even remember what they looked like.
The Adipose.
No, the
this is a
pating.
bit thing.
The Pating, yeah, there's just like one Pating too. Like it wasn't even a bunch of them. Just if there were multiple too, that would have been even better.
Yeah.
With
Mhm.
the Adipose, they were cute. There were multiple, and they didn't know what was happening. The Pating didn't really understand it was doing wrong either, but it was just one of them. It was eating a couple things, and yeah, on the ship, and meh.
Okay, I just looked it up. It's actually not even cute. Not
It's
even.
But they try.
adorable. Look at its eyes.
That's the thing that they tried doing. The eyes, for some reason. Also, you know what was a good episode? That racing
Mhm.
episode where they had to race on that planet. It was the second
Yeah.
episode,
Yeah.
It was like a desert
and
eclipse
she
planet.
got her TARDIS, and I got like
Oh
so much
yeah,
to say
yeah,
about
yeah,
that new
yeah.
TARDIS. But the police box aspect of it is so good, nice looking, of the TARDIS.
Mhm.
But the inside of it is weird.
So yeah, the
It is
pating.
nothing at all like the other Doctor's
I
TARDISes
don't know why. I
at
just
all.
don't.
It's so
I
completely
looked at the controls for this TARDIS, her TARDIS, right? Up close in like, images and stuff. Let me tell you something. All those controls do not make sense. They make as much sense as a kitchen sink. And literally there are parts from kitchen sink on there. I was just like naming parts and I was like, why? There is nothing in there that's like, oh, let me pull this lever. Like the 12th Doctor, Matt Smith's TARDIS, that one, his first TARDIS
Yeah.
that had amalgamation of stuff.
Mhm.
Everything made sense. on what it would do. Even this little thing that made a noise did something. Her TARDIS is if I went to Home Depot, put some pipes together. You know, in my backyard, the hose, right?
Yeah.
The faucets for the hose. That's exactly how her TARDIS is. You guys can look it up. It's like I don't understand how to fly it.
I feel like they just got lazy and just put random things onto it.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Mhm.
Even David Tennant's TARDIS had random things, but each
Oh
thing
yeah,
made
David Tennant's
sense.
one.
It had
He
buttons,
was a
dials,
huge
knobs.
chaotic.
Like he would bang it. That was an old joke in the Doctor Who world where the Doctor would bang the TARDIS to make it work. Like there were things in each of these TARDISes that made sense, especially Peter
Mhm.
Capaldi. Out of everyone's, Peter Capaldi's TARDIS was perfect. Slash Matt Smith. It was
No,
the
I agree with
pinnacle of
that.
perfect sci-fi vehicle on the
Yeah.
council, at least.
But I just feel like they just, like I said, they got lazy and they're just like, oh, we'll just grab this and just put it together. And I don't
And
think they
also
really thought it through.
They
I
no,
don't
they
like
also
the
really wanted to go
column
for something
piece.
completely different. Like
I don't like the column. You see the column piece, right?
yeah,
That goes up in that huge piece in the middle. I
the
Yeah.
don't
dining
like
room.
it's that big. You know what they could
Mhm.
have? They were trying to go for the old one, you know, because the first Doctors and the others had the column piece that goes up and down that's not attached to anything. What they could have done is they could have made it like the first Doctors, where it's the the glass cylinder around inside is a tiny crystal spinning. That's what they could have done, just
That
like
would have
the
been
first
nice.
Doctors and stuff like that. And I absolutely hate that column piece. Everything else about that TARDIS, I wish there were more buttons. The inside of it is cool. The
Hmm.
console needs more buttons and things that make sense, and the column piece needs to be smaller, but everything else in there, I'm pretty okay with. Even
The
the
other thing is,
entrance to the TARDIS makes so much more sense than a lot of other Doctors' TARDISes. It's not just you come in and that's it. It reminds me of like the 10th and the other Doctors' TARDISes that from there on that made sense was like, hey, we'll show you how it works. It's the wormhole theory, and here's where the entrance is. The old Doctor's TARDISes didn't have that because they didn't realize that, you know. So, like, if you look at the first Doctor's TARDIS, it makes no sense how big the doors are compared to the doors on the actual police box.
Yeah.
hmm I
Like,
So,
mean,
I have to
hopefully that
appreciate that with
within
our
the
TARDIS.
hopefully within the next season they'll explain more about the TARDIS Council, or at least tell you
maybe.
something. Just because maybe it's just that we're super fresh to the TV series. Like we've only have I mean, even though they should have explained some of the stuff, what some things do, maybe within the
They
next
did.
season they'll explain a
I
little bit
looked
more of
behind
some
the
stuff.
scenes. They do.
Oh really?
And even they said it's confusing for them because they
Oh
have to
man.
now put. Okay, so
Don't they
every
have a new
TARDIS has
set
a mapping
designer?
on what. Yeah, they got a new set design. I think the other guy died who made the other TARDISes. So
Oh, so
yeah,
it's not even
Mhm.
that they got lazy. The other guy just doesn't know what he's doing.
yeah, most likely because like the guy who built the set for like Matt Smith and Dave and all those others, he you know he made it beautiful kind of
Yeah,
thing.
because I'm looking at an image that has like the War Doctor, the 1910, the 11th,
Yeah, I'm looking
and the
for one too.
12th.
The
And
War
Everything.
Doctor, like I like how what they did with the War Doctor stars is like you see how it used to be before Christopher
yeah.
Eccleston got to it. His
Yeah.
council was beautiful in the room, and then he got to it, and it's like it just got old and decrepit after years of like just sulking and you know. So
I
yeah,
gotta say, it's
Chaoticness again.
weird how the ninth and the 10th Doctor had the same TARDIS, but Matt Smith got two.
yeah. The reason why is because their warehouse. Matt Smith's TARDIS was huge, like probably bigger than our gym in Madison,
Oh
and
my gosh.
the thing is they the warehouse they didn't I believe they couldn't keep it in the warehouse anymore due to financial issues and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
so they had to compromise and they made the second one for him.
Mm.
So was David Tennant's and Christopher Eccleston's TARDIS were huge too, but not as big as Matt Smith's. That was one of the biggest ones.
Mm.
And
Okay.
remember, it had like corridors, rooms. It had a glass what's it called, a glass floor. It was like it was expensive too to
Yeah.
maintain.
It's pretty
In
cool
which they
stuff
were
like
all
that.
afraid of the glass floor when they first started, but then they got used to it. But yeah,
For the first one for Matt Smith, yeah.
yeah. I mean, Matt Smith's was like, don't. It was confusing though. I'm not gonna lie because it was not a convenient TARDIS because he had to run through the doors, go up 2 flights of stairs to get to his.
Yeah.
It was the least convenient of them all. The most lazy TARDIS was probably the fourth Doctor's second. No, he had three TARDISes. So
Ooh.
I think it was his second TARDIS that was
You know,
the laziest.
I wonder if the 13th Doctor's gonna get a new TARDIS.
I personally hope so.
Me too.
I hope so. I like the outside though. The outside is very nice looking of
Yeah,
it.
like leave the outside but change the inside.
Exactly.
Cause
Um,
I don't like her TARDIS at all. It just I'm looking at it and it's like I don't
it doesn't make sense. None of it
like
makes
Matt Smith
sense. It's not
and
homely.
Peter Capaldi
No.
had like the best ones in my opinion.
But the whole point of TARDIS too is to feel at home.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Each one of them has some sort of homely feeling. This one doesn't. The walls are weird, like really far, as if they're trying to come in, but they can't exactly come in. The
The big
don't
crystals.
get. I've already talked about the councils. The big crystals. They said they wanted something natural. In my
That's not
opinion,
natural.
the coral thing
Maybe.
with the 10th Doctor was a natural feeling thing. You felt like the TARDIS was alive with that. I don't
Mhm.
feel like crystals make something feel alive.
No.
It just makes it feel dead.
And you know, because it's like kind of
Or like a cavish type thing, but even so.
Exactly.
Mm.
the TARDIS also in a way always kind of reflects the Doctor's personality.
I don't get how that one does.
So
Oh,
like I'm wondering if that's kind of like a hint that maybe she feels lost.
lost?
Like cuz like it doesn't have like that homely feeling. So like maybe she just doesn't feel like at home completely. Like she still feels kind of lost.
I don't think the TARDIS reflects every Doctor though. Like we look at the older ones now too, and it's just like the TARDIS is just the TARDIS.
Yeah, I guess.
So I look, I think they did wrong with their TARDIS. I think they could have done way better job. What
Mhm.
personally I was expecting it to be was like a modern day version of one of the older ones.
Yeah.
Something where it was like it wasn't too far off from Peter Capaldi's, but it still looked a bit. It was a new set, but the
Like
council itself wasn't
kind of
too
like the
far
fourth
off.
Doctor's but modern. Because the fourth,
Yeah,
like in the fourth
exactly.
Doctor's, his was like just the walls
He
were
had
like the old, but like the console looked very like broken down. So
yeah,
kind of would have been more like that, but with like more like modernized
that would have made
consoles.
sense. As if it was confused at the time too. That would have made more sense. This TARDIS, even her sonic screwdriver, she okay. So the sonic screwdriver she built.
Yeah,
Why does the sonic screwdriver have the crystal, and so does the TARDIS? The sonic screwdriver somehow went with the TARDIS, which I don't get either, because those two things, the only things that connect this Doctor, the sonic screwdriver and the TARDIS, from this Doctor, not even her personality.
yeah.
Personality does not say anything about the inside. The outside, yes. The inside, no. But it does match the sonic. So was the TARDIS a rush job kind of thing for this Doctor? Because she had to rush and make this sonic.
Maybe
So maybe the TARDIS is reflecting a rush job kind of thing,
that's
That could
true.
be it
even
too.
though it had a long time.
Yeah,
So yeah.
because she still had to go and find it.
Yeah, and then it comes apparently every 100 or 1,000 years to this one location. So the TARDIS had a lot of time.
Yeah,
So I don't know what's up with that TARDIS. Now,
but that could make sense. Like she rushed to Sonic, so the TARDIS rushed itself.
hmm
Could be.
what
So hopefully
else?
she'll crash it,
Oh.
and it'll need to get a new interior, and it
I
will.
will say, like, how Peter Capaldi regenerated though. Like the whole TARDIS blew up. As soon as she pressed the button, the whole thing blew up. It was an amazing thing. Um, damn, I remember. Yeah.
So the next
Whenever
episode.
it's
Mhm.
a new thing though for that to happen. When a Doctor regenerates in the TARDIS, it to be so theatrically blow up like that.
Yeah.
Like it didn't happen during Christopher Eccleston, but did happen. It first started with David Tennant.
Yes.
Um, yeah. So you were saying
So
HBO's now getting it?
yes, HBO Max subscribers will have access to all the seasons so far. Season 9. I mean, starting with the ninth Doctor, all the way up to the 13th Doctor. I don't know when this will happen, but this is coming out shortly.
Yeah, but it's pretty expensive to be watching that on.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Also, the
it's still good.
DVDs are very expensive too. The DVDs to Doctor Who are not worth the money either.
They're
Nope.
really not.
Like, like the only reason why I bought that Tom Baker one was because I saw it for like $12
Yeah.
at thing. But all the other ones for the exact same amount were like 34 or $80. I,
Way more
I
than a
don't know
DVD
where
should be.
BBC gets the nerve. But they used to be a good price when Matt Smith stuff because they came with a sonic screwdriver and it was like $34 for like the whole series with a sonic screwdriver,
Yeah.
which was a plastic one. That was fine. But
Mhm.
So at least you
for
got something for it.
the classics are expensive, especially they know how to milk with the classics. So I watch it on Amazon Prime for free.
That is probably the most convenient way to watch it right now.
Yeah,
Besides the
I'd say
off-brand
Amazon
websites
Prime.
and everything.
I highly doubt it's gonna go off Amazon Prime too. You know what I'm saying? Because Amazon probably has the rights to sell Doctor Who stuff, so they have the right to show Doctor Who
Wait,
stuff.
okay.
Um,
Possibly.
what else? Merchandise. We don't see a lot of Doctor Who merchandise anymore,
Oh my gosh,
unfortunately,
all
as
the
well.
cosplay for the 13th Doctor, that just went. As soon as that got released, most of it went off, or most of the outfits and everything, the cheaper stuff, went right out the door.
But I'm not even talking
It
about
sold
going
out
sold
fast.
out. I'm talking about we don't see anything at all.
Yeah,
Finn
you're
and
It's,
I,
right.
when we
unless,
used to go out, we used to see at Forbidden Planet. They had one whole section for Doctor Who.
Even
I
true.
like
think Doctor Who is dying, and
Hot
Even
that's
Topic
even
used to
Hot
have a whole
Topic, yeah.
section.
But
There's
that's
Hot
just when it
Topic.
first came
Yeah.
out.
Hot
That's
Topic
just
doesn't
when
even
the
get
13th
rid of
Doctor
it.
just got introduced. That's when they
No,
really
even
boomed.
before
But
the
then after
13th
that,
Doctor first got what's it called? Introduced. We had a whole section for like Doctor Who way
oh
before
nice.
her, way before she was even announced.
Ours didn't have it too much. We had like a few things like necklaces and bracelets and such like that, but we didn't have like a whole lot of it.
Doctor Who is a dying thing,
It
and
is.
And
to
that's
tell if a show is dying, it's usually especially its merch.
yeah.
Because if it can't make money on its merch, then it's definitely dying. There was a Tom Baker TARDIS, right? Those
Mhm.
usually go for $20, right? 20, maybe 25. Like I
Yeah.
usually collect them. They wanted $45 for it, no sound, no nothing, just for your
No.
Tom Baker action figure. I wasn't gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
So
And
much
plus,
money.
shipping and stuff too. It's really sad
I
that
think they think to try and save it that overpricing stuff will make them money, but if they made things cheaper and actually the price they should be, they would probably make a lot more money.
Yeah, I mean, I would
Mhm.
definitely go ahead and buy. I want to. That's what I've been trying to do is collect all the TARDISes at least, so I can have them all on display, and one action figure for each Doctor, so I can have them next to it.
Yeah, because like
We
even
haven't even got a
Oh,
13th Doctor one yet.
yeah,
oh, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that the comic books are one of the most popular merchandise selling out right now for the stuff. Like I'm seeing these comic books left and right, not just not just in comic book stores, but like within Walmart, within Target.
Or Doctor Who.
Hmm.
I don't really
I'm seeing
know
those things
about.
everywhere.
I
yeah,
didn't really
they
know
I
about
are.
could be
that, but
wrong
comic
though.
books are cheaper anyway to buy.
Yeah,
Comic books are $3.
because you
The
can
thing
always
I want
charge
props and
$10.
stuff, man. I want more props
Yeah,
and
of
stuff.
course.
They were
Props are
doing
the
good
best
one
part.
year. They were doing good one year with the sonic screwdriver and the universal remote sonic screwdrivers. They were
Yeah,
pumping up stuff left and right, really
Mhm.
awesome stuff. I have the robe, and now they just, basically stop, even clothing wise and stuff. And it's kind of like, man.
It's
I just
sad.
feel because they outprice themselves. Like even the DVDs. Like if you make it more affordable, people will buy more.
Ooh,
And it's also the
how
fact
about
that the
those
show's
socks too?
dying.
Socks are so
Nobody,
expensive.
the show's dying as well. There's not such a big
Yeah,
I heard
viewer
about it.
pool for. Pretty soon it's gonna die, just like it did in the 80s, I believe. And yeah, that's
You ever
it.
think it'll come back again?
I don't know. I really don't know. But if they
Mm,
keep writing the way they are for the 13th Doctor, I don't think
no.
so.
yeah.
They need a new write. And everyone complains about each of these writers. Stephen Moffat's horrible, but now they want him back. Um, who else? Russell T David's horrible, but now they want him back.
Those two were like the
And
best.
those two were like definitely up there with
At least for the newer season, not the
oh,
old
definitely
season.
for
Yeah.
well, they were the only ones for the new ones, but yeah, they were definitely up there. Like they're definitely up there with the greats because you had Doctor Who on, in my opinion, all the way to the fifth Doctor. It was good. Sixth, seventh, and eighth were really weird. and that's where it ended for. And there's a reason why it got canceled with the Eighth Doctor. Then, no, wait, with the Sixth and Seventh Doctor was really weird. Then the Eighth Doctor only had a movie, and it was made in
Yeah.
America, and it was a good movie. It's in the made in the '90s, so it's not like a cheap production kind of movie,
Yeah.
and it's American, so yeah. Then it came right back with Christopher Eccleston. And
But
fun little fact for you: do you know why the War Doctor exists? Because Christopher Eccleston didn't want to come back for the 50th anniversary. Stephen
That's
Moffat wrote
awful.
a whole thing just for the Ninth Doctor. He didn't want to come. Oh well,
It
so
works
they
out.
basically messed up a whole storyline.
because Christopher Eccleston basically messed up a whole storyline.
Yeah, because that
Just because
added
he
a
didn't want to come.
Because
generation.
you
That
need the thing is, it's tradition with Doctor Who to have more than two doctors on anniversaries, specials, and
yeah,
stuff like that. That's just
Hmm.
Doctor Who tradition. And if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't. The War Doctor wouldn't exist, and everything.
that's interesting because I never knew why they included that. Um, but that's interesting. But I feel like it also added more to the story. Like,
Yeah,
oh, this
definitely. I want
mysterious
to know more about
doctor.
the War Doctor.
Yeah, I wish they would do like a mini series on him.
um, if there probably comic book somewhere up there for him.
Maybe.
Oh man, there's a comic book for everything.
What else?
That's another topic for another day, though.
Now their outfits. The worst outfit I think by far it was the Sixth Doctor. You guys can look that up. I hate that outfit. I absolutely
I'm
hate it.
looking it up.
You know, just because you said that, I'm gonna buy the outfit specifically for you. I'm gonna make you wear it
If
one day.
you buy it, I'll just put it in the closet
No,
as
no, no,
like
no. You're gonna
it'll
wear it.
just be in a collection. But I would wear it. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I would wear it. But but it's still the worst outfit of them
It's
all.
the
Is it this
most
weird
vibrant one.
multicolor thing?
Yeah, it's
It's
like
just
all
red and
kinds of
yellow.
patches and
Yeah.
Yeah, that's no, that's a big
I
no.
get Doctors Who's supposed to be goofy and stuff, but that's like taken to another level. That's why one of the reasons why I probably started dying too. That's goofy
Yeah,
beyond. But this doctor was one who, fun little fact is his doctor definitely supported Jodie Whittaker
yeah.
becoming doc.
I think
He
most of them
supported the
did.
actor. Some of them did. Some of them tried doing that scapegoat thing where it was like specifically the Fifth Doctor did the scapegoat thing where he's like, young boys still need a role model. And then that doctor was like, young boys have had a role model for years.
Yeah,
Now it's time for the girls, and the whole crowd cheered and stuff. Oh,
yeah.
that's how.
Mm.
And Tom Baker obviously approved of it. Tom Baker's just at home, relaxing.
He's like, I
Just
don't
He
care.
does.
watching
He
it.
still does audiobooks, by the way, Tom Baker, and some of
Oh,
them still do. Yeah. So
That's awesome.
I definitely want to listen to the audiobooks one day when they go down in price as well. So yeah,
everything's just overpriced.
yeah, especially with this thing.
But that's like with a lot of things, like a lot of like branded stuff, and I'm not gonna name any. But if they made things cheaper, I feel like more people would buy it because people are probably like, "Oh no, this is too overpriced for this specific kind of item." That they're not gonna buy it. If they made it like half the price, people would be like, "Oh, I could buy a bunch of these now because it's actually reasonably priced."
I understand prop replicas being expensive.
Yeah,
I will always
Or those
understand
little
that because those are always a limited run,
Mhm.
usually, like a couple years, and those are some guy. These are usually hand painted, and some guy literally had to.
yeah,
I mean, it's a
Um,
piece of art, you know. That kind of stuff takes a long time to make, especially by hand painting, like you were saying. So of course that's gonna be more expensive. That and those
but
little
then
action figures that are to the
but a
exact
T-shirt
detail.
shouldn't be $30 just because
No,
it
no,
has
no,
a
no,
print
no,
on it.
maybe
no, no, no.
15, 20 max. 30's kind of like no.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't like spending over a certain amount.
But then again, too, t-shirts right now, if you want to get them like at like a Hot Topic, Box Lunch, wherever you go, t-shirts from there are like $20, and it's so expensive too. You know,
$20 for a T-shirt's pretty bad. Yeah,
it
Like
is,
20 is like the max that you should pay for a shirt.
I will
and
never
people
do
eat
that.
Maybe
that up
more
like
like
crazy.
10, 15 is like a good price.
Target has good prices on graphic tees, though, like $12 and stuff.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I've only seen like a Doctor Who one, which would Weeping Angels. They usually bring around those like Christmas ones for Doctor Who
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like the
only
ugly
for some
Christmas
reason.
sweaters.
Yeah, like the ugly T-shirt Christmas sweater things. but they're not very ugly. But yeah,
No. But
they actually.
they're in the category of the ugly sweaters, but they're not ugly.
I'm not gonna call them ugly because I would wear it. Like the ugly Christmas sweater for Doctor Who and other things. They actually look good. I think an ugly
Yeah, they
Christmas
look
sweater,
cute.
if you say you would buy it and it looks good, and they're selling it because it looks good, does it really qualify for an ugly Christmas sweater?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's in that category.
Can you really call like I know the companies are calling it that just to sell it, obviously, call it.
Yeah.
But, yeah. What else?
I don't know. I think we're out of time.
Okay. So maybe next time we'll talk a little bit more about Doctor Who in a later episode when we
Mhm.
find out more facts actually.
Yeah.
I'll look up some stuff about what's production and stuff.
Oh yeah,
But
they're releasing the next series in 2020. Yay!
okay,
Sounds
so
good.
next time we'll come and we'll talk about filming and what's happening with that and what we hope to see.
Ooh, Doctor
Yes.
Who
But
part 2.
anyway, but not for a while.
We'll
But
take a break.
anyway, you
Couple days.
guys have a great day. Thank you for joining us on Craven
Thank you.
Talks. Doctor
It was
Who's.
wonderful talking.
Doctor Who. Okay, everybody. Have a great day. Bye.
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 Adios.